A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me to let me know that you love the financial videos, and that made me very happy. And I think every artist needs to be educated on this, because I don't know if you guys heard, but another one bite the dust. Now I'll get into the video, I promise, but in case you didn't know, Tangent, my previous company, with over 400 employees, multiple locations, had to shut down and let almost everyone go. Because they lost their clients, they lost their 2 productions, all within a week and a half. And as you guys see in the missing monitor right there and the missing computer, my girlfriend was actually still working at that company when it went down, and she had to go return her equipment. Now I'm saying this to show you the reality of our industry, the reality that you're working at a company that's growing, that's making a name for itself, working on high quality productions, and then all of a sudden, with the loss of a single client, boom, within a week, every single artist that worked there is out of a job and is jobless now. I'm making this series to make sure if something like this happens to you, you're not desperate enough to take any offer that comes your way. You're comfortable enough to wait for the right opportunity, for the right project for you, without having the fear of going homeless or being in debt. Now, I apologize for the very long intro, but I feel like it was needed. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the richest man in Babylon and what he taught me. Now, I've read this book half a dozen times, and each time I learned something new. But with you guys, we're going to be talking about the 5 laws of gold that Arkad, the main character, talks about. And of course, how I implement those laws in my life. Now, I'm not a CPA or a financial advisor. This is just entertainment. It's me sharing my experience with you. Now, with all that out of the way, let's hop in. So Arkad, the main character, was a poor scribe, and over time he made himself the richest man in Babylon, and these are his 5 laws of gold. Gold cometh gladly and in increasing quantity to any man who will put not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. Now the first law of gold is putting away 1/10 of your income every single time you get paid, but in my opinion 1/10 isn't enough nowadays. For me, at the peak of my expenses, at the very peak, where I was living in downtown Toronto, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with my partner, we were sharing it, and with all the other amenities and commutes and all the other expenses, I was saving around 40% of my income. Now for reference, Toronto was named the 5th severely unaffordable place on earth. So if I can do 40% there, you could probably do more. Now that I actually moved out of the city, I'm able to save 50% of my income. Now this means every year that I work, I'm adding another year that I can live off of without actually working. So every year I work, I can retire for a year. Now this isn't good enough for me. For me, I would like to get to a point where I can live off of 20% of my income and invest and save the other 80%. That way, every year I work, I can retire for 4 years. And that quickly adds up. 10 years of that, and then you have 40 years of retirement. And if you have your money invested, that's just exponential growth. Now, some of you might be watching this and you're thinking to yourself, Brian, I'm not trying to live like a hobo just to have some money when I'm too old to enjoy it. Now, the fact of the matter is 10 to 20 years from now, you're still gonna be 10 to 20 years older. It doesn't matter if you wasted your money or you were saving for your future, and now 10 to 20 years later you have this immense wealth that you've built up, that you've thought about, and through action and thinking and hard work you can enjoy. So those are your 2 options. You're either gonna enjoy 10 to 20 years from now, or you're gonna be thinking, damn, I wish I thought about my future and I wish I actually did something when I was younger. And the other thing is, you don't have to live like a hobo to put some money aside to invest. Think of it this way. Let's say you eat out twice a week. Cut that down to once a week, and let's be honest, it's you ordering food through Uber Eats during pandemic, so it's going to be $20 for the tax and the service fee and the delivery fee, and then you got another 20 bucks as the actual meal. So that's 40 bucks a week, $160 a month that you could have saved, that you could have invested. That's $1,000 something a year. And imagine this, another scenario. You're playing League, you're playing Valorant, and a new shiny skin comes out. You're like, oh dude, I gotta have it. And then guess what? They have another new one, and a month later, not even like 2 weeks later. Imagine you didn't buy one of those, or you didn't buy both of those. $100, $200 saved right there per month. Did you really need that? Or were you gonna forget that you're even wearing that skin after a few hours of looking at it? I'm speaking from personal experience. But you see what I mean? You could save 100 upon 100 upon 100 upon 100 without actually really affecting your life, affecting your quality of life. Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment. multiplying even as the flocks of the field. Owner who finds for it profitable employment. Now we're talking about money here, and the best way to actually create wealth is to have your money work for you. So when you're not working, your money is working for you. Now I use my money in a couple of different ways. And none of them actually include putting it in a savings account, because if you just dump your money in a savings account, you're just stacking up money. A savings account is going to give you 2% interest, in most cases 1% interest per year. Well, guess what? Inflation in Canada was 2.2% this year. That means you lost money keeping your money in a savings account. What you want to do is you want to invest your money in growing assets, or invest your money in someone, and that someone could even be you. I personally invest my money in the stock market, mostly growth and tech stocks and some dividend stocks as well. I'm also investing my money in my own endeavors. For example, I'm in the process of starting a business right now, so there's money and time going into that, and that may not work out, but that's just a risk you have to take. Now, if you guys watched my 7 streams of income as an artist, then you would know that 40% of my monthly net worth increase is actually from my investments, and my full-time job makes up 58% of that. So this is a prime example of having your money work for you. So I'm really doing half the work, and then my money is doing the other half of work, and I'm not fully there yet. I have a lot of ways to go, but I feel like this is a good start when it comes to taking action. Gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling. So the previous 2 laws were about making money, the next 2 laws are about losing money, and this law right here is about preservation. It's about preservation of your capital, preservation of your bottom line. So you don't want to lose your initial investment. Now this is something I've been burnt with. This is a mistake I've made where I follow people I shouldn't. I follow people who had no idea what the hell they were talking about, and I have lost thousands of dollars because I blindly listened to them. And I think that was thousands of dollars well spent, because I will never make that mistake again. That could have been tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. Now I try to educate myself, and I follow people that are more successful than me. I listen to their mistakes, try and learn from their mistakes, and implement what works for them into my life and see if it works for me. There's a lot of buts, but I will never again just listen to someone and take them for face value and never do my own due diligence before investing time or money into anything. Now really quick before we actually jump into the 4th law, a quick word from TOAnimate. If you weren't aware yet, we launched our website TOAnimate.ca. So if you're interested in an upcoming extensive Blender animation course that's aimed at beginner to intermediate level animators, providing you with everything you could possibly need to make a demo reel, you can head over to our site, sign up for a monthly newsletter where we share monthly progress updates on the course, as well as monthly animation tip infographics. So go ahead and sign up and be the first to access the early bird prices once the course actually comes out. Alright, let's hop back into the video. Gold slippeth away from the man who invests it in a business or purpose with which he is not familiar, or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. Again, this is something I've done in the past, mistake I've made. I actually started a couple of e-commerce stores before I started YouTube, and I had a whole dog store. Like, not actual dogs, like dog toys and whatnot, but I've never owned a dog. What the hell do I know about dogs? It's safe to say it didn't work out. Like, the thing is, I had no idea who the demographic was. I had no idea what they needed. I'm not a dog owner, so I wouldn't know. And I had no connection to the actual thing I was selling. I had no connection to the actual business. I had no passion. There was no interest there. And as you would expect, it all came crumbling down due to a lack of knowledge and lack of experience. So don't make the same mistake I did. Listen to the wise words of this book. If you're going to invest time and money into something, make sure it's something you have experience in. Make sure it's something you're passionate about, you're interested in at least. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts in his own inexperience and romantic desires and investment. Lord, if that's not every single Gen Z investing these days. Oh my god. They're all shooting for the moon. They're all jumping on these hype trains. AMC, GME, shitcoin number 2, shitcoin number 4. I get it. I get it. It's alluring. You get FOMO. You get fear of missing out. You're like, oh man, this guy said this thing's gonna go to the moon. Why? How? Like, show me numbers, show me something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You don't just like YOLO your money into something. That's not investing. And if you think so, you're an idiot. That's gambling. There's a difference. Money that goes up fast comes down even faster. Now, I made a similar mistake back in 2017 in the early days of my investing, in the hype of cryptocurrency. I bought a bunch of altcoins with all these like promising white papers. Where are they now? Half of them in the toilet, and the other half, they're worth 100th of what they were worth before. All because I listened to a bunch of monkeys who had no idea what they were talking about, but I got FOMO. I was like, dude, these guys are saying it's going to the moon. I need to buy this, I need to buy that. And I would do no due diligence on my own. I would do no research on my own, no thinking on my own. And I would just listen to these guys just because I liked what they were saying. I liked what I was hearing. They were saying, I want to get rich off of it. I was like, okay, sounds good to me. That's not how you should do things. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Now, just to clarify, because I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for this, I don't mean all cryptocurrency. I just mean altcoins that have nothing behind them. To this day, I own Bitcoin, I own Ethereum, and a couple of other top 10 coins. But be careful of new coins coming up. There's a new coin coming out every 2 hours, all right? Don't go put your money into something that hasn't been proven yet. Now, in my opinion, the only thing that's actually going to the moon is generational companies with a good product, a good service, a good team behind them, a 10 to 20 year plan of action, and a leadership that'll take it there. Now that, if you find that company, that's gonna take you to the moon, and that's gonna keep you at the moon. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you actually enjoyed this video, if you learned something, make sure to smash that like button. I want to give a huge thank you to my beautiful Patreons. Thank you guys so much for your continuous support of this channel. And with all that out of the way, happy animating, and I'll see you guys in the next video.